My sister has the most amazing little garden. Even the birds think so. It's harvest time, guys, and today we're going to be harvesting from my sister's balcony garden to show you that you too can garden even in a small space, veggies and flowers as well, right? If you have never been here before, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. Now let's get to harvesting. So guys, over here are some of the greens that she's growing. And some of these we're going to be harvesting, but we'll do that a little bit further down in the video. I just want to show you a little bit of how she uses her space. So over here, she has a very nice seating area. Beautiful little wreath on her door to kind of liven up the space. You can feel really relaxed. Over here, she has her plants. Some of the greens, she puts them on the rails. And so if someone is not like directly below, then you can put them there. If someone is, you can always use hangers to kind of support them, and they sell those where you can hook them onto the sides. And of course, hanging baskets are a great idea to use space. So you're going vertically, to take advantage of what you have. And this is how beautiful they are when you turn them around. My husband is holding them up to show what they look like. And it is always so wonderful to see them whenever I'm driving by. Over here in a previous summer, I think it was last summer, she went in and she harvested these tomatoes. These are grape tomatoes that she's grown from seed. And she only has about 4 hours of shade per day, but she doesn't let that limit her. She puts these in the corner where they get the maximum amount of sunlight, because you know how tomatoes are. They need to have that sun. They're warm weather, sun-loving plants. But she puts them there, so it's very strategic what she does to get the most out of her plants. And here she's harvesting some of them. And this was just, on one day where she picked the ones that were ripe. And so over time, she was able to get a lot more, throughout the season from this plant. And she was able to make a nice little salad with what she got that day. You can see how she's harvesting them there. And that was so good to see. Before we go any further, though, I have to tell you a little story about this pot right here. It's so interesting. So those were her tulips coming up in the early spring. And then this is when they were out in full bloom. Just 6 of them in the pot, guys. Then she went away for a week. And this is what she came back to see when they had dried down. There was a bird that was made a nest and was living in there. And she had actually laid 4 eggs. And look what came of it, guys. There were 3 little hatchlings, and this is how they just stayed the whole time until they got big enough to fly away. They were so comfortable out there. They were so relaxed. I went out there and I filmed them, and they were so comfortable. All they do is just blink. That's all that they did. I thought it was so cute. If you're a bird lover, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just so wonderful when they come. So switching over now to take a look at, what the plants look like when she had just sown her seeds. Well, the lavender, she had gotten that as a start from the garden center, but pretty much most of the other things here are from seeds. This over here is rosemary, and again, towards the corner where she gets the most sunlight. And over here, she has some tomatoes that are growing from seed. Next to them, she has some celery, and these were actually from chicken scraps. She just cut them off and put them in there. And you can see she's using grow bags. But if you notice, there's a little dip to one side in that one. So an ingenious idea that she came up with was just to get some cardboard and just line them so that they would stay up. And I've seen people growing like potatoes in cardboard boxes, so that's become a new thing now. And it's probably more organic anyway to do it that way. But I thought this was a really good idea. You can see she has some mint over there as well too. And these were her potatoes when they got bigger. Over here now, she has some more. That's a volunteer potato coming up in that pot. And over here, this is what they're looking like now, a more current view of them. And she did want to thin them out. But guys, life happens. I had things going on. She had things going on. So I didn't get some from her to thin them out and put them in my garden. But nevertheless, she kept them there and they came along quite nice. As you can see how they're looking right here. And over here now, she has some marigolds. So we did get some of the tomatoes, but the marigolds are over there filling out. And over here, she has some basil. And the celery, you can see she harvested most of it, and there is other stuff coming up. Some of these plants are volunteers too, like her marigolds. That one's a volunteer. She has a potato right there. Over here, these are some beans that she has. They may have not been getting enough sunlight because you can see that they have some little blotches on them. So she's going to harvest what's on there and then go ahead and just treat them, spray them with spray to get that cleared off. So it's just good to see how she uses that space over there. So up here now, this is where they're lined off, and I think it looks really good. And she has a good mix of veggies and flowers. So it's just really beautiful to the eyes, looking on, and also she's getting to eat from it. So just to show you a close up now of what and this is pak choy, by the way, that she got. And so we're going to go ahead and get some of those harvested today. So here she is starting the process, just taking them out. And yes, guys, it is tightly packed in there, which means that they could have been a little bit bigger in their growth. But the upside to that is that because she has some smaller ones growing in there, when she takes these out, she's just going to put a little bit more soil back in there around them. And then those ones are going to take over and fill out the container again. So not the best situation to have them that many in there. But this is when you take advantage of the situation and just make the best that you can out of it. So that's pretty much what she plans on doing here. So she has the nice clean pruners there, going in and taking them out. And we're just so excited that this happened. It's nice to plant things from transplants, yes, but when you grow them from seed, it is just so even much more rewarding. This one bolted a little bit, but that's okay. We're going to harvest it. We're going to have it just the same because they're nice and tender, which is what we want. And you see that there's a marigold over to the left, which the petals can also be eaten. I'm told that they're actually edible. You can put them like on your salads to make it really pretty. And of course, we try to keep the things as organic as possible in terms of treatment for pests and diseases if they ever arise. And this is a good thing because it's a balcony garden. She's a little further up. She has much less pest pressure than most of us do who are lower down. And I just wanted to pause for a moment to invite you to subscribe to my channel if you've never done so before. I do lots of gardening topics, tips, and tours. We have a wonderful community of gardeners here where we share ideas. We support each other. And I appreciate it, especially those of you who come back time and time again and support the channel membership and all of that. So over here, guys, this was a full harvest. It's not showing everything, but we're going to look at it again later. Just to show you in a previous season that she did something different, which I kind of like, that she has a variety where she puts different things. It's good to switch out your crops sometimes, or even if they're just flowers, it's good to switch them out sometimes. And that's the beauty of when you plant annuals, because they last for a year and then they die back, unless you're in a tropical zone, and then you can try something else for the following year. If you really, really like it, you can just use the same thing all over again. So you can see how she did this there. And these are actually on a step stool that her son made. So that's another way of layering your garden so you can use it, for more than, just multiplying the areas that's available to you by going up. These right here, these are some ginger that she grew from just ginger cuttings that she had. Not as many right there, but if you have been watching, you see where I did a previous video where we harvested a lot of them later in the year, that year. Over here, she has some pansies, also grown from seeds again. So it's just wonderful to see what she does with the garden. Of course, it's awesome, cute little decor. And she got these from the dollar store. So that's even inexpensive too, right, guys? The container for that one and the hangers were from the dollar store. Over here, she has a beautiful gladiolus in bloom. Absolutely gorgeous. I just love the color. You can tell me what you think about that one. And if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give me a thumbs up. It sends a good message over. And that way, YouTube will send it out to others so that they can get to see the same thing as well. Because we're just here trying to give you some ideas. You can see how she used the space to do different things. Now she has like some lemonade there. Of course, this year she, had the little patio set. So that's gone. That's set up right there. But just to show you, that's where you're starting from, that you can do it that way. And she decorated it with just different things here. Little butterflies on there, very summer-like. She just make it really, really attractive to the eye and just gives you a place to just relax in your little garden space. So we're coming back over again to show you some things off to the side here. Not a lot started out yet, but she did plant little rosemary right there. And she has a little watcher right there looking out, I guess. And then over here, this was actually a lemon tree that she grew from seed, and it did pretty good for about 2 years, and then it died back in a really bad winter when it got left out there by mistake. But she did enjoy some of the leaves to make tea, so she did get something out of it. And those were some peppers that you just saw. But this was my little stash that she gave me from what she got, so I'm very happy about that. And just to say, guys, that you may not have a lot of space, But there are different ways to go about it to just maximize it as much as you can. So you can use like hanging baskets, you can use like stepping stools, you can put things on the, on the, what's that, like the rails, and they have the hangers that support that. So you have lots of different options. I hope this helped you in some way. I want to thank you so much for watching and for coming back time and time again, and be sure to click on the next video for more wonderful information. So I'm going to leave you with a view of these cute little birds, just how wonderful they were. Such pleasant little visitors to the garden. Take care.